small steps consistently go great distance. It is the greatest thing in life to understand that small steps lead great distance. You don't need to make big leaps and bounds. That's not the way. These great successful people in life took steps every single day, and that is the key. You thinking you have to take big steps will hold you back, because you'll wait till you take one big step, and then you'll wait longer to take one big step. Small steps every day lead great distance. Welcome back to day 8 of 100 Stoic School with myself, William Mulligan, author of the Everyday Stoic, Simple Rules for a Good Life. But I'm sure you know who I am by now if you made it to day 8. Stoicism has been described as the guide to the good life. And by listening to these episodes, listening to these lessons, hopefully within 10 lessons, you'll understand what the Stoic philosophy is and how to incorporate it into your life so that you can become Stoic, which is a short and cool way of saying you'll be happier, more confident, more balanced, and you'll be living a better life, becoming the best version of yourself using this ancient blueprint. Because that's what Stoicism is. It's an ancient blueprint for the good life, and I'm just here to teach it in an understandable way. Today's episode is powered by Huel. Let's jump into the episode. Today is an exciting lesson because it's something that many people are requesting. Many of you have requested, and it's something that can help you in the now. And that is how to build self-discipline. You do well to listen to the words of Marcus Aurelius if you want to build self-discipline. This guy was just incredible, as was Epictetus. I mean, these people, something remarkable about them is their discipline. Marcus Aurelius led the Roman Empire during such difficult times, and he did such a good job, and he had so many responsibilities, but his discipline was just incredible. So this will be 7 steps to build your discipline following Stoic principles, as the Stoics did, these great people. I mean, Marcus Aurelius was emperor of Rome, right? And he had all the money in the world. He could do anything he wanted, which many Roman emperors before him did. And they did horrible things, took advantage of the weak, the poor. They just did what they wanted. You can probably imagine what kind of things. They were literally limitless, boundless. Their only restraint is actually themselves. So they need discipline to remain restraint. And Marcus Aurelius certainly was very disciplined. He actually used to sleep on the floor on a pallet. He used to wear a grey, rough, straggly robe that the Spartans used to wear. He took part in the Greek Gogi training. I believe I'm saying that right. Which is basically, it's like Spartan training. This great difficulty, going through struggles, not eating much food, eating plain food. And that people were like, oh, well, loads of people go through that. Bear in mind, this guy could have had anything. He had access to anything in the world, and he was like, right, I'm going to remain disciplined. I'm going to eat plain food. When rich people used to eat ridiculous amounts of food, just excessive, and the greed was excessive. But Marcus Aurelius had discipline because of his Stoic practices. So this is 7 steps to building your self-discipline using Stoicism. The first one is to find your purpose. And I'll read you a quote here. Everything, a horse, a vine, is created for some duty. For what task then were you yourself created? A man's true delight is to do the things he was made for. So, understanding your purpose is a way to always have a guide, and a strong enough guide so when impulses and vices try to come out and drag you under, this strong guide will remain there as a beacon of light to always guide you. And Epictetus, the Greek-born slave turned great philosopher, he said this when, lust tries to take over you, and he was speaking specifically about wanting to be with a certain woman. And he said quotes like, anyone is lucky to be with this woman. But he's saying, but yeah, so that means if anyone's lucky to be with this woman, then people are lucky to be with her in adultery, which means to be with this woman, it was different times back then, but it still makes sense now. But to be with this woman is to destroy your character. So he's saying the good thing is to not do that, is to remain pure. And the way he did this is to keep always in thought that I must remain pure. I must remain good. I'm not going to do these bad things. And that was his purpose, is to remain pure. So, and that was his strong purpose. So when these impulses, not just with this woman, any impulses, excess greed and these kind of things, when they presented themselves, which they do, everyone gets these bad impulses, he said, my goal is to remain pure. And this goes against that purity. And having that guide, having that purpose will always drag you through. So with you remaining disciplined, not procrastinating, if your purpose is to not waste this life that you've been given, you don't want to waste it. This is the gift of life. And if you imagine a story of the man who died and he got to heaven's gates and he didn't want to go into heaven. He prayed, he begged and pleaded. He said, I want one more chance down there on earth. I want to go through it all. I want to fully appreciate it all. He got sent back down and now he's like, I remember I prayed for this. I won't waste a moment of life. If that's your purpose, to not waste a moment of life, to be a good person, then when life presents you with doom scrolling for 4 hours, partway in, you get 20 minutes in, you go, whoa, that's not my purpose. I wasn't put on this earth for this. So that helps you. And these steps kind of work in together in unity. The second step is to make a plan. Because self-discipline is the ability to get yourself to take the necessary actions to achieve your goal, whether you feel like it or not. So create a plan and create small steps. And small steps consistently go great distance. It is the greatest thing in life to understand that small steps lead great distance. You don't need to make big leaps and bounds. That's not the way. These great successful people in life took steps every single day, and that is the key. You thinking you have to take big steps will hold you back because you'll wait till you take one big step and then you'll wait longer to take one big step. Small steps every day lead great distance. So this is how you do it. Have a book that's titled Your Goal. I do this with my big purple box. My goal on the front. And then break it down into chapters. So maybe the book is 20 chapters and they are the smaller goals that lead to the big goal. Then on the page of the chapters, you write down all the actions you could take towards the steps. So you have the goal, the book, that's your main goal. And then each chapter is a step towards that goal. And then within each chapter, you have little actions that you can take, any action that leads towards that step, towards the main goal. And then you put a little box next to it, and then you tick off the little steps every single day. You just tick off one. One's good enough. One is enough. That's one little small step. Or tick off 2 or 3 or 4. And you just keep ticking them off. And the reason this works so well with discipline is, first, it instills the idea that if you put something down, you get it done. So you start to trust that if you make a goal, you get it done. And that trust is huge. Once you trust yourself that you make a goal and get it done, and you've seen the evidence, as I think as Alex Hormozy says, you don't get confident by shouting affirmations in the mirror. You get confident by giving yourself evidence, by proving to yourself that you can do it. So this is creating evidence. You have the main goal, the smaller goals on each chapter, then you have the steps there, any step that you know you can do, and you start ticking off every day. It feels good to tick things off, so it's addictive. You keep ticking off. Suddenly a page is done, and that's one step closer. Another page done, one step closer, one step, and then you've done it. The book's complete, and your goal is complete. And the way this works mainly is when we have a big goal, it's not tangible. It's just a goal in our head. I want to set up a business. I want to have this business. What even is that? I know it sounds simple, but like you don't even know what having a business looks like if you've never been there. So writing down all these steps, these actionable goals that you can do will get you there. Research what research tax, research the market, research this, blah, blah, do this, set up this, this, whatever. And you have these little goals that you know you can do every single day. You tick them up, and suddenly progress is good. You're taking steps every single day, and you will get there. But I know people that say, I want to start a business when they're at school, and they're never done. And when you see them, yeah, I'm still working on it. I'm still want to do it. Like, well, just write it down first, and you can see where you're going.
A quick word from our sponsor, Huel. I really like Huel. When I was writing my book, I was using Huel to power me through every single day. When I had my daily greens, when I had my meals, when I had my shakes, it stopped me from going to the shop, buying a load of rubbish, buying a load of unhealthy food, wasting loads of money. And these things do add up. Those quick journeys to the shop every day, the money adds up, the unhealthy foods add up, the wasted time adds up. So if I ever get those cravings, I grab a Huel and it fills my cravings. I feel good, it tastes delicious, it's quick and easy. And if you have any interest in the Huel products, then check the link in the description. Let's get back to the episode.
The third step to building self-discipline from the Stoics is to practice voluntary hardships, which is to get outside of your comfort zone and to test yourself. The Stoics would always do this. Marcus Aurelius, the great emperor of Rome, he was super rich, all that kind of thing. From a young age, he was sleeping on the floor. He was wearing a rough, ragged robes that the Spartans wore. Didn't really provide much protection from the elements. He was eating plain food. And, doing this helps build up your tolerance to difficulty, and it helps sharpen your mind, especially at the start of the day. Something like a cold shower, it gets you on the day. And the thing is, if you tell yourself, it's like with the ticking the boxes, you tell yourself, I'm going to have a cold shower every morning for a minute, 2 minutes, whatever. I'm going to have a cold shower every morning. You tell yourself that if a difficulty is presented to you, you will do it. Difficulty, do it. Difficulty, do it. And in life, you start to, when difficulties are thrown at you, you just have that confidence. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And then you start to understand, I can set myself anything and I will do it. This is building discipline. We're really getting into it now. The fourth step to building self-discipline from the Stoics is to practice the dichotomy of control, which if you're new here, then you won't maybe not understand what this says. If you're not new here, I say this all the time, but dichotomy of control is one of the fundamental principles of Stoicism. Epictetus, we spoke about earlier, is the Greek-born crippled slave turned philosopher. He said, some things are within our power, others not. Within our power, health, wealth, reputation, office. Not within our power, our opinion, motivation, desire, and aversion. Sorry, that was flipped around. That was wrong. Within our power are our opinion, motivation, desire, and aversion. Not within our power are health, wealth, reputation, office. So within our power is this internal world, the things that are of our own doing. Not within our power, the external world, things not of our own doing. Once you understand this dichotomy of control, you can build discipline. So there's a little questionnaire that goes, do you have a problem in your life? Yes or no? No? Don't worry. Yes. Can you do something about it? Yes. Don't worry. No. Don't worry. So the idea is that we no longer waste our time and energy towards things outside of our control, and we focus our discipline on the things that we do actually control. And this builds discipline. It's a very good way to build discipline because you understand and you take control of the things in your life that you do actually control. So you start to put your energy to things that actually make progress and build your character. So the fifth way to build self-discipline from the Stoics is to never play the victim, which is to not pity yourself. Dr. Michael Sugro, the great lecturer, a great mentor, he said, all men suffer, but not all men pity themselves. So you have this example, you either pity yourself or you don't pity yourself. You're given a challenge, you're given a difficulty in life, and you can either pity yourself and fall away, fade away from it, or you don't pity yourself and you rise up to the challenge. And I say self-pity is the depth of solution, because even if something in life is handed good to you or the answer is handed good to you, you ignore it because you pity yourself and you want to look for the bad. So just remind yourself not to pity yourself. All men suffer, but not all men pity themselves. And you'll start to build more discipline because you start to look for the good. And it takes effort to look for the good. It takes discipline to look for the good. So that is the 5th way to build self-discipline. The 6th is to practice delayed gratification. So we put off what we want now for what we need later on. Delayed gratification. This is in relation to the Stoic virtue of temperance, moderation. But it can be things like, you want a treat, you want a snack, you want to do a certain thing. You just delay it. You put it off for a while. You control your moderation. You do something like fasting. So you're controlling. And it sounds very simple. So say you do intermediate fasting, or you fast for a day of the week or a day of the month. You take part in some exercise. You practice your discipline in an incredible way. If you could fast for a certain amount of time, you're delaying your natural desires to eat food, your natural impulses to eat food. And this discipline around that, this delay, will spread to every other aspect of your life. So when you feel like doom scrolling, you've already practiced delaying it. So you put it off, and then the impulse is gone. And then you can get on with the rest of your day. So I'll read a quote by Marcus Aurelius on this actually. At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have to go to work. As a human being, what do I have to complain of? If I'm going to do what I was born for, the things I was brought into this world to do, or is it that I was created to huddle under the blankets and stay warm? So you were born to feel nice instead of doing things and experiencing them. Don't you see the plants, the birds, the ants, and spiders and bees going about their individual tasks, putting the world in order as best they can? And you are not willing to do your job as a human being? Why aren't you running to do what your nature demands? You don't love yourself enough, or you'd love your nature too, and what it demands of you. So the last step in building self-discipline from the Stoics, and this is essential that all work together, is to honestly review your day. And I'm going to read a quote here. These are the characteristics of the rational soul: self-awareness, self-examination, and self-determination. It reaps its own harvest. It succeeds in its own purpose. So the Stoics quote the Pythagoreans quite a lot, and they would do exercises that the Pythagoreans laid out. And one of these exercises is to review your day. And the reason we review our day is so that we can review progress. We can actually see what we are doing for real. Because when we're lost in it and going about our day and we're not noticing progress, we're not aware of anything really. We're just getting about our day and we never improve. And we're not going to build our discipline because in the moments we create excuses. But when at the end of each day, you assess your day, how you did, how your self-discipline was, if you acted on these Stoic steps, you start to notice your progress. You start to notice your flaws, and you can keep building and building and building and building. But if you don't assess these things, you'll never notice progress. You'll never be aware of progress. So the exercise is you do all these steps, and at the end of the day, you say, how well did I do those steps? Did I do a good job? Yes, no. Even if no, you're aware that you did a bad job. But if we don't assess and create awareness, then we become ignorant and we ignore all these things. And before you know it, 20 years has passed and you didn't take action on your goals, your dreams, and you're still creating excuses because you're never tracking progress. That is it for day 8 of 100 Stoic School on the topic of how to build self-discipline. This is 100 Stoic lessons for 100 days. If you stick around, you'll fully understand Stoicism more than anyone you've ever met. You know more of Stoicism than these people teaching Stoicism online, except the rare few. Point is, you'll know a lot about Stoicism and you can actually use it in your life to live the good life, because that's what it's done for me. It's changed my life drastically. And it took me a decade of studying all the ancient texts, trying to work it in. So I've condensed it into these 100 lessons of Stoic School so you can make the decade progress I made in less than 100 days. If you want to support what I'm doing, please give me a like or a follow or a comment. If you're on Spotify, I'd love a rating. It really helps. Please, ratings really do help, honestly. And you can just quickly click it now. It really supports what I'm doing. If you want to go above and beyond to support me and also help out someone you love or a friend, introduce them to Stoic School. Stoicism can change your life. And if you can it changed my life. It saved people's lives. I get messages. If you can introduce a friend, you could have the potential to save their life. And they internally go, thank you for introducing me to Stoicism. You're the best, Jimmy. You're the best, Niall. You're the best, Amy. Whatever your name is, they'll be thanking you. So introduce a friend or family member or anyone you want to Stoic School and change your life, change their life. Thank you for listening and have a wonderful and stoic day.